Hello everyone and welcome, it's Eclectic, Kelpi, and this is Adult Colored Glasses, the show where I rewatch media from my childhood satirically and sincerely, and today we are going to be watching Dragon Tales Episode 1, To Fly with Dragons / The Forest of Darkness. So I have this theory, the fairy to fairy pipeline, and I feel like the dragon to dragon pipeline is the same as the fairy to fairy pipeline, because we all started with Dragon Tales, and now we've graduated to Fourth Wing. We all started with Winx Club, and now we're on to ACOTAR. You know, I think it's the fantasy pipeline, but it's the fairy to fairy pipeline, is what I've called it. And so I'm really excited to get to watch Dragon Tales, because it's been literally probably since it was, airing on television. On PBS, I think it was. But yes, I'm excited. I remember really liking this show, obviously. I remember my favorite dragon was the little pink one, Cassie. And I think it's all just about fun fantasy dragon adventures in the Dragon Land. I think it's called Dragon Land. It's probably just called Dragon Land because simplicity for the children, you know? But yeah, it was so interesting. I feel like the way that you could tell if it was an American production versus a Canadian production was if it was in French or Spanish as the secondary language. So it is also Spanish descendant individuals like Max and, oh gosh, I don't remember the kids' names. I remember the dragons' names, but I don't remember the kids' names. But anyways, the two kids are from a Spanish background, and I feel like that's how you know if it was made in America versus Canada, because Canada's second language is French. So I think it's really, really fun and interesting, and to have that expansion of cultural diversity in childhood, I think is really important. And also it's just fun. Expand your horizons. We get dragons, we get bilingual individuals, we get exciting adventures, we get so much fantastical culture, and also beautiful representations of everyday cultures. So I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a super fun one. So without further ado, let's jump into Dragon Tales Episode 1, To Fly with Dragons / The Forest of Darkness. It's so iconic. It's so iconic. This theme song, so cute. I always wanted one. I always wanted, because I know that they just, find it in their house somewhere, and it's just a magical dragon scale, which actually begs to question, where did it come from? How did it get there? Because clearly there's, different dimensions or, pockets of reality, whatever, however you want to, conceptualize this magical, different worlds, right? One would assume that you have to have the magical artifact to get there in order to be able to get the magical artifact to get there. So how did you get the magical artifact to get there if you didn't already have access to said magical artifact? Or is it a situation where there's deep dragon lore that the dragons were originally from our world, and then the reason why there's so little of them is that people were hunting them for sport because they wanted to get these dragon scales, because it's special. I mean, I would literally want this dragon scale. Obviously I wouldn't want to kill a dragon for it, but if it was gifted, if it was generously donated to me, who's gonna say no? That's gorgeous. So unless there's a human dragon war where the dragons created magically their own pocket reality, everybody forgot about it, and now there's just all of a sudden this dragon scale that's been buried in somebody's house. I want to know how it came to be. How did it come to pass? What were the circumstances around the conception of this alternate dragon reality? Or was it just an oops situation? But how? Where did this dragon scale come from is what I want to know. I want the deeper lore. I want the 10-page backstory around where this dragon scale came from and how these children came into possession, other than just they found it. You know what? What would have happened if they didn't have dragon photo wallpaper what would have happened? No. Okay, my reaction was, what if it was like mermaid wallpaper? Would they get transported to like, oh my god, it could be the same thing. Why didn't they expand this universe? Why didn't they have like a mermaid scale to take them to mermaid land and then they could have mermaid tail? I feel like I'm percolating. That could have been so cool to expand the universe. We could have had Multiverse of Madness Dragon Tales edition. And nobody thought to do mermaid tails? Or unicorn tails? What if you found like a chipped off piece of unicorn horn? Missed opportunity. Missed opportunities. They're just so cute. Cassie's my favorite. She also has the best gemstone, I think. This is just like a beautiful little like opal. Sometimes it surprises me how much I remember from these shows because I don't like watch them or prep them or like have any, I don't dive into anything. I just either remember that something existed. There's usually something that will prompt my memory that something existed, usually like nostalgia TikToks or like whatever. And then it's baffling sometimes how much I've retained. I remember the dragons' names, but I have no idea what I did like 3 days ago. Isn't that just how it is? They're so cute. Oh, this is such an iconic theme song. It's like, oh man, I gotta, one day I have to do like a tier list of like, maybe, I don't know if it's gonna be like seasons of adult color glasses. I don't know, but like maybe every like many episodes of this thing, I'll do like a ranking of the theme songs because these kids' iconic theme songs were so good. Dragon Tales, so good. Totally Spies was so good. Jane and the Dragon, I think, is the best. One of the peak intros. I don't know. I think that would be fun though. But this is so iconic. Dragon Tales is such a bop. Hold on. Because it's spelled Dragon Tales as in like, let me tell you a story, but do you get it? Because it's on a dragon tail? Because it's a dragon tail? Get it? Oh my god. They're so smart, these guys. These writers from the 90s. Look at them go. It's Dragon Tales. Okay, but this is like a really nice new house. Like, super understand this kid is like, I didn't want to move. This new house is dumb. I like my old house. Same girl. I understand. I moved a lot as a kid also. I've lived in 9 houses my entire life. So I understand the moving around. I understand the not wanting to be in a new space. Although sometimes it was fun to like, you know, you move and then you get to decorate your room and you get to like set the space up how you like it based on, you know, like you get to kind of like reinvent your space every whatever many years. And it's just like, it's a treat, right? But like not for a kid because the instability is kind of, you know? But this is such a nice room. I mean, how can you really complain? But obviously understandable. He's literally like 5. Moving is hard. Now it's just hard because the packing and the boxes and the U-Haul and the logistics, and then the unpacking and the getting rid of the boxes and the paying for the U-Haul and the logistics. But the setting up and the new environment and the fresh sort of like fresh start kind of vibe is good. So, and dragon wallpaper. Oh, her name is Emmy. Okay. Cute. I like it. Max and Emmy. This is such a wild thing to have happen. They've just moved house from, like, they're in suburbia. They're just, like, this is a nice, like, window seat, like, a beautiful reading nook, if you will, which is actually a perfect place to find a dragon scale, because I tell you what. But, like, they're just hanging out. They're in a playroom. They're in suburbia in, let's say, I don't know, wherever Desperate Housewives was meant to be. They're on Wisteria Lane, and they find a dragon scale. Okay, but this is literally my life's goal. Yes, I would love to be an actor. Yes, I have other goals and ambitions that are within the realm of Delulu, but like in a physically capable kind of way. Although who knows, magic isn't... Who knows? Maybe one day I'll end up in a magical fantasy realm and again, you'll never see me again. But this is literally the dream. This is the goal. I'm gonna take my bestie. We're gonna go to Dragonland. We're gonna go and ride some dragons. We're gonna have a beautiful time. We're gonna have magic. And frankly, I'm in my like Hobbit, Shire, relaxed, cottagecore, whimsical era. So I don't want to go to war. I don't want to have to fight an evil king or some like evil mages. There's already enough of that in the world. We don't need it. We don't need to take that with us into fantasy worlds. But this is literally the goal. Send me a dragon scale. Okay. Love how fast-paced this is. We're literally like maybe 4 minutes into the episode. We're already going into Dragonland, which I feel like this show is meant for young children rather than like a Totally Spies, which is meant for like an older young child. But like, I love the fast pace. We're already going to Dragonland. Let's get to the point. Let's get to the whimsy and the magic. Love it. But like, again, how, because it's just like, who put this there? Who left it also? Could you even imagine? I mean, unless you're like an ancient old grandmother who was like, I've had my time and I've enjoyed my adventures with the dragons and now I'm passing this dragon scale on to the next generation, whoever moves into this house. But like, one, I would just stay in Dragonland. I wouldn't come back. I'm sure that there's some magical stuff to deal with my retirement in Dragonland. Amazing. So, like, why would you come back? Why would the dragon scale be there? Because it, like, transports with them. And who left it? I would never. I would take it with me. Unless the previous owner literally just, like, was out. Was gone. And then they, like, left it. But if it was just somebody who sold this house and moved, why would you not take your dragon scale? One, if you don't want to use it anymore, sell that. Make a profit. In this economy, sell your dragon scale. Or keep it forever and go and live in Dragonland. Why would you ever want to be here? See, this is the most unrealistic. I can't suspend my disbelief with people, like, the characters who are like, with characters who are like, oh, I have to get home, I have to go back to this capitalistic wasteland that we call planet Earth in, like, the whatever reality we're in right now. Who's coming back here? No one. Not me. But yeah. I want to know the backstory of the dragon scale. Oh my god, the boy's voice is so annoying. The whining. Stop. They sparkle as they fly. Or just said he lost his first tooth. I don't remember when you lose your first baby tooth. It can't be more than like 4, 5. When did people lose their baby teeth? Anyways, literally an infant. And then these children are riding on infant dragons, which, I mean, sure, you know what? It's probably better because it's like size accuracy, but ponies. If you think about a pony, those are not baby horses. Ponies are a different breed of horse that stay small. Ponies and horses are not the same. Because a baby horse is called like a foal or a filly. Gender, language, whatever. So I guess they're sentient. I guess they can have these conversations of like, one consent like, can I please ride on your back? But they're children. It's too much. That's crazy. There'd be safety concerns. I guess they are really small. I never thought about it. I always thought the dragons were like old and ancient and like, but yeah, they're literally just children. That's crazy. Emmy had a book about dragons and Cassie has a book about humans. That's actually a crazy concept though. I guess it really, like, even, I guess in, like, for example, The Little Mermaid, like, Ariel's obsessed with the human world, and she's a mermaid, and so, like, a mythical creature. And then dragons, like, these, I guess these are more like humanoid dragons, because they are, like, they stand on 2 feet, they, like, they're kind of human-ish, while still being, like, fully lizard appearing, but they, like, have sort of the mannerisms of people, so that's kind of wild. Yeah. What a concept. What a crazy, like, thing to start thinking about is, like, magical creatures being interested in, like, the human world, because we are a mess. We are the soap opera. Who needs Days of Our Lives? We are the entertainment. If anything out there is watching us, I'm sure that they're like, they sure are getting their entertainment values worth. And I don't know how good that is for us in the world, but we continue. What if? Because they're literally a parallel of the kids, right? Like, Cassie and Emmy are, like, besties. Ord and Max are, like, literally doing the same thing right now, right here. Like, their mannerisms, their sort of, like, personality traits, their, like, being is mirrored. What if every person has a dragon that is meant for them? And then that means that everybody gets to have a dragon and go to Dragonland and be besties with a dragon and go on flying adventures. And the worst thing is, like, cozy game problems. Like, oh no, the mayor ran out of blackberries for his pie, and now you have to go and find blackberries and fly to the top of this very specific mountain to go and procure these berries from this one tree that's, like, 1,000,000 years old, and they're very special, and the flavor is very specific and that sort of thing. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like that's a very niche and specific, but cozy game problems. Anyways. I want a dragon. Fairy to fairy pipeline. Those backgrounds have to be hand painted, right? Or, like, hand drawn, because they're just so beautiful. Like, I love the hand-drawn backgrounds, or, like, the painted backgrounds. Like, it looks very pastel painting. It looks very, like, happy little Bob Ross trees, you know what I mean? Happy little clouds. And I just like that. I feel like the ambiance and the environment, it adds so much to the experience of animation. I think that it's so beautiful to, like, experience this art through the environment. Because, yes, of course the characters are, you know, the primary importance, the storytelling, the dynamics, and the dialogue, and all of those things. But I love environment drawings. I love background paintings. I love the, like, getting you into the space and then into the story. And I just feel like it adds so much. And so I think that the animation actually really holds up and is really good. It looks still beautiful. Yeah. And the backgrounds are beautiful. Oh, no, actually, it's not as horrific as I was thinking, because I was literally like, oh, wait, there's kangaroos. I was like, bro opened up a flap in his tummy and is storing various items in his body. But kangaroos literally exist, and they have pouches. Although I don't think that they use those pouches for pillows or berries or a teddy bear. However, they do have a pouch. So, less offended, but this is still odd. It feels odd because he's a dragon, and he's a talking dragon. It feels odd that he has a pouch. Like a drawer on his person. It's weird. This show is certainly made for young children. The dialogue is so simplistic. So simplistic, it's almost cringe. So, that's where we're operating from right now. Look at how beautiful. Look at how beautiful this is drawn. They have all their, like, little cozy caves. It's kind of like little hobbit holes, but just without the door. But you could add the door. There's trees. You can make a door. And then you can make a cute little, like, hardware, like, circle knob and then put it on top of the cave, and you literally have a hobbit hole, but, like, in a mountain, and then it would be really cute. I want to go. And then you have a magical, like, this is giving Barbie 12 Dancing Princesses. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is giving, like, it's a magical singing fountain. It's kind of giving Greek mythology, too. I feel like magical singing fountain gives Greek mythology, but it's giving Barbie 12 Dancing Princesses, and this is just... And then you go into your little hobbit hole, and then you, like, tell it to play, like, a nice ballad kind of thing, and you just... It's just... We need magic. Somebody invent magic. Bring it here. I hate to be this way. I want to be a girl's girl. I want to be women support women. I don't want to talk badly about another girl. Wheezy's voice and the shrieking, just... Wheezy and Max's voice, disgusting. Unacceptable. Intolerable. Stop. He came from Mexico. So, dragons were in our world. Is the dragon scale Quetzal's? That's the headcanon. I think that's gotta be the headcanon. Quetzal used to be, centuries ago, Quetzal, as a young dragon, was in Earth, and he lived in Mexico, and that's where he's from originally, before the wars, of course, on dragons. The dragon-human wars, if you will. And he dropped his scale, but, he always intended to have people find his scale to be able to reforge the alliances and cultivate happy, positive relationships between humans and dragons so the worlds could come back together and live in harmony and happiness and coexistence and peace. And so he left his dragon scale. But that's really cool. It's so fun to have this, and it's also like doing the little bit of Spanish, like that's such a good opportunity for people to learn, but it's also good representation for individual, like there was access to representation of varying different people, because yeah, of course, especially when you're growing up, you want to be able to see yourself in media and represented and have your culture represented or your language represented, so it's really awesome to see. And also the dragon speaking Spanish. That's beautiful. I wonder... I'm gonna take that opportunity to look up Mexican lore and if they had dragons, because I don't know this. And that'd be really cool. Most cultures have a type of dragon, right? Yes, I think so. Most cultures have a mermaid variant, a dragon variant, and some sort of, like, boogeyman variant. Like, the thing that's gonna make children behave themselves. Stories of that nature, so, yeah. I'm gonna see if, like, Mexican mythology has dragons. Children have been in Dragonland before. New headcanon. Never mind. Maybe it's not about the dragon-human wars. Maybe... No, because the scale had to have gotten there, so what... If... Unless... No. I'm trying to make it make sense. Unless dragons are from Earth, but their scales, obviously their scales are magic, so they can teleport to Dragonland. There's a lot of movement here. There's a lot that doesn't make sense to me. But, pro-immigration. We love to see it. Oh, they do explain. My explanation's better, I'm not gonna lie. This is super, this is super simplistic and dumb, which, again, I get it. I understand. It's literally a little kid's show. However, some random dragon was like, oh, I dream of playing with real human children. Why? Have you been around real human children? So she wants to go and hang out with real human children. So she's sprinkling magic on her scales and being like, oh, I can spread these scales around the world and maybe human children will come to Dragonland. This feels a little Pied Piper-y to me. Suspicious. Is it only because okay, maybe the world was just like not, maybe adults just like weren't allowed to have like fun imaginations back in the 90s, because I seriously, like, adults want to go to Dragonland. There's adult dragons. We can just go and sit and have like dragonberry tea and chit chat and like have a good time. Like, why are only children allowed in Dragonland? It feels suspicious and exclusionary, because I'll go play with the dragons. I don't know, like, not this kind of game, but something fun. I don't know. That's so fucking rude. Let adults have whimsy. I have imagination too, clearly. That should have been... Oh, maybe it shouldn't have been, actually, because I feel like that would be very irresponsible of the universe to give little children crazy wishes powers like this. Because essentially, instead of you get a toonie, you get a $2 bill under your pillow, or whatever your parents were gonna give you. I got loonies and quarters, or like $1 and a quarter, depending on the age. That like my last tooth, I think I got a toonie, and before that it just whatever. But anyways, the point, we got a little bit of money, but these dragons are getting full on magical power wishes that they could have literally anything they want. That's a dangerous power to have for an irresponsible child. Even now, I feel like there needs to be like a wishes application form where it like can't harm humanity. It can't be unreasonably like an egregious offensive wish. Can't be anything that's gonna like mess with the fabric of reality in a way that will negatively impact the masses. Can't be anything against nature. An ethics board of wishes. What a... This is a little kid's show. But I am doing this satirically and sincerely. What a waste of a wish to be like, I wish that you and Emmy will come back and play with us again sometime in the future at an undisclosed time and date. We'll just make it whenever you come back, blah, blah. You could have asked for anything in the world. Anything that is physically capable of happening within the world, and you wish that these two children who are already building up relationships with you that are like, oh yeah, we like it here, this is so fun, you guys are so cool, we're having friendship, we're like, you know, we're already like getting on good terms and stuff, and that clearly they were gonna come back anyways, and you waste a wish on something that was already gonna happen. Insane. She needs to stop. She needs to stop. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they wanted this voice actress to be the most annoying, egregious, worse than Shrieky from Care Bears. Because at least Shrieky from Care Bears is entertaining and she's like fun and like has a personality. She's just fucking annoying. Why? Why have they done this? And I still have 13 minutes left of this episode to listen to her and Max, and they're just voices that grate on my soul. They're asking how to go home. I would never go home. You would never see me again. Well, maybe just like one time. Maybe I would be responsible. I would come home, I'd be like, you know what guys, I'm actually, you'll never see me again after this. You know, pack up a couple of things, you know, and then go. I wonder if they have to go at the same time. I wonder what happens to the dragon scale, like, when they're in Dragonland, like this one. Because they don't seem to, like, be holding on to it when they're in Dragonland. They hold it together to go, but then it's, like, gone when they're there. Or it goes into a liminal space. A limbo, if you will. So is it still, like, in the human world? Like, theoretically, if, like, one of them was like, I'm gonna go to Dragonland right now, I'm gonna go hang out, like, see you there if you want to go, is that acceptable? Or do they have to go together because the dragon scale is only there when it's not being used? Because I feel like the transport system would be more ideal if you could do it separately. If you had to do it together, it's kind of unfortunate to coordinate schedules. I mean, clearly they're like 5. 5 and 7 is what I'm gonna guess. So, fine. They'll go together now. But what happens when they grow up? Who gets it when they move out? Or, I mean, I guess they could, like, get another dragon scale in Dragonland. But can they? Because some random dragon, like, sprinkled magic on her scales and then blew them into the world to, like, lucky children. If you find it, you get to come and play in Dragonland. Like, I don't know. The mechanics are a little... It needed to be better fleshed out. I just love the, like, naturalistic... This is why I love, like, fairy, like, little mushroom houses and, like, this kind of thing where things are built into nature, where it's, like, it's a part of it, and it's harmonious, and it's sort of, like, those vines are the swing. And, like, yeah, okay, that maybe the plastic slide in the background's not so much, but, like, it's all a part of it, and you can see, like, where they've made something out of the thing that's already there. And I like it, and I think it's cute. I want to know, like, if it ever explains, like, the grander lore and, like, scope of Dragon Society, or if it's just fun little adventures for kids, which is probably what it actually is. But I'm so curious, like, what their, like, society grows into, because clearly, like, I mean, Ord is a teacher, that's his job. I think he's the only adult dragon that we know of or talk to. Maybe that's not true for the entirety of the show, but what do they do when they grow up? And, like, clearly they're getting trained for something, they're in school. What are they learning? Like, Ord has to go and procure a seed from this star tree. Like, that's fantastic. But, like, for what purpose? For eventually what purpose? The dragon-human wars? Maybe. They can fly. Why would you land and walk? Unless that was, like, a specification that we didn't hear Quetzal say to Ord, like, oh, you have to go through the forest to have this count towards your education, and, like, that's part of the credits, or whatever it is. But, like, why would you walk? Why would you... Because it's, like, he said 8 paces past Half Moon Rock. Fly to the rock, walk to the tree, or you would see it from the sky. It's a star tree. The stars are lit. Obviously, you have to wait till, like, nighttime. But, like... Work smarter, not harder, kids. Would you consider a dragon to be a monster? Maybe. I guess it depends on the context. These are kind of like humanoid dragons, so they wouldn't be considered like monsters. But, like, I feel it... Well, I mean... Man, I don't know. This is a little bit more complicated, isn't it? Because what would, like, a monster be that a dragon would be scared of? He literally has fire breath. Like... Why are you stressed? I don't think it's that deep. I don't think it's that serious. I think you could just, like, have your breath, put on a torch, go walk in the woods. I don't know. They're children. It's a kid's show. It's teaching the children to get over their fears of the dark, because you'll be fine, but it just... This is a kid's show. He disintegrated. He disappeared. What happened? Hold on. He disintegrated. What happened to him? Where did those powers come from? What are all of these powers that these dragons have? How did he go invisible? Did he teleport? He just disintegrated. He dissolved. There was no... He just gone. Oh, that's odd. But he's scared of he has magical powers and he's fucking scared of a hairy monster. Ridiculous. He's invisible. Confirmed. Oh, he can only turn invisible when he's scared? That's a dumbass power. That would suck. You'd have to, like, oh my god, could you imagine that in, like, practical application? If you were like, oh, I need to be invisible for, like, whatever the fucking cause for that would need to be, you would have to, like, oh man, you would need to, like, have, like a picture of your worst fear on your phone, or you would have to, like, constantly be, like, but, like, oh man, that would suck to have to constantly get into, like, a fear response. Your cortisol levels would just be fucked. Your stress, your, like, oh my goodness, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Keep the fear-based powers away. Oh my god, what a waste. Bessie literally cried a river. Hold on. This river? This one that's flowing, this little stream? He literally cried a river. Okay, I kind of think that's a little bit funny. Maybe that's a little bit funny. Okay, they get one. Everybody gets one. What a beautiful message, though, from Dragon Tales to the children. You just gotta tell yourself that you can do it even if you are afraid. Take that with you into adulthood. Take that with you now, today, as you go about your lives. Once this episode is over and you leave YouTube and you're off and you're in the world, just tell yourself you can do it. And then you can. Have the audacity. Dragon Tales said so. They're even teaching, like, semi-healthy coping mechanisms. Music is a great way to, like, help you, you know, de-escalate. And, like, depending, obviously, on, like, the type of music with, like, but for, like, sensory stuff. Like, you know, if you're in a heightened state of escalation, you're supposed to, like, distract, like, get your... Because psychology background, obviously, like, your fear center comes from bottom-up processing. It's, like, the most basic parts of your brain that process fear. And that's survival instinct. So, to combat that, you have prefrontal cortex, which is your elevated logic processing, like higher cognitive functioning. So when you activate the prefrontal cortex, you're actually, like, taking away your, like, back to front processing, and you can go front to back processing, where you're like, okay, like, I'm intellectualizing this, distracting your, like, fear response, or you're disrupting your fear response with, like, higher processing. So, because your brain can't do that many things at once. So it will take away from, you know, the base fear and make it so that it, you know, you stop being scared, which is fantastic. Yes, healthy coping mechanism. Healthy coping mechanisms. Listen to music. Stunning. Beautiful. It's a star tree. Yeah, do they have to also say it together? It's odd. I want to know I want to know how it works. I want to know all the backstory and the mechanics and the everything, because can they go together? Can they go separately, or do they always have to go together? Can they to and fro together and separately? And why do they both have to say the rhyme? Is it because they have to, like, agree to go home? Is it like a consent thing? Like, they have to, like, if one of them didn't say it, they would get left there because they're not choosing to go home, which, okay, I'm behind that. Yeah, that's cool. You have to choose to go home. One can't just simply grab you and be like, oh, you are going to this location. Love that. Do they have to go to and fro together? Probably not. This is so beautiful. The lighting. Why is one of those stars a moon? That's odd. That's an odd choice. But anyways, I was gonna say, like, this is beautiful. That's crazy to think about too, because this is basically talking about the like birth of a star. So stars are now born. Instead of gases in the sky, stars are now born when baby dragons go and learn to be courageous and go and pick seeds off of a tree and then put them in the sky. Actually, that's really cute. Okay. Alright, it got me. That's cute. That was Dragon Tales. Okay. So, this is very much a little kids show. I don't think I really enjoyed it. I don't feel like it, like, it's definitely not for me. I feel like I have to give it like a 2 out of 10. I feel like I have to give it a 2 out of 10 because it just didn't translate for me from childhood enjoyment to adulthood childhood. I think that it's still a beautiful piece of media. I think children nowadays could absolutely find so much enjoyment from it and get a lot from like the episode messages, and kids now could get so much out of this beautiful fictional world. I feel like, yeah, it definitely is translatable from when it was first running to now in terms of little kids enjoying it. I did not. I feel, well, there was components that I thought were fun, and I enjoyed the stories that I made up to go along with this show, because it is ultimately extremely simplistic and very much supposed to be for little kids. So it did a good job at that. But yeah, 2 out of 5 overall. Loved the theme song still, such a bop. Love the concept, love the art. Like, the show as a whole is beautiful and it's great. The show as written is awful and cringy and super annoying, and it's not for me. Obviously, it's not for me anymore. But it did contribute to the fairy to fairy pipeline, and so I love that. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to continue watching any more episodes of this. But yes, if you enjoyed this episode, consider giving a like and subscribing to continue joining us on all of our adventures. But with that, thank you all so much for watching. Everything with love, and we'll see you next time in the treasure trove. Bye!